Hey, welcome to our third video. Okay, let's think about what we did in our last video and kind of review a little bit before we do some new words. Okay, in our last video, we talked about Y being like a chameleon. Just like chameleon can change its color, Y can change its sound, and it can be both a consonant and a vowel. It's usually a consonant at the beginning of a word, okay? And it makes that sound y, like at the beginning of yellow. If we move Y to the end, that's when it becomes a vowel, okay? And two vowel sounds it can make are E and I, long E, long I. So there's our chameleon Y. Okay, the chameleon changes colors and the Y can change its sound, okay? And be both a consonant or a vowel. Okay, now also in our last video, we came up with some keywords to help us remember Y at the end and the two vowel sounds it makes at the end. We made a sky, okay, to remember Y can say I at the end like it does at the end of sky. We made a bunny to remember Y can say E at the end of a word like it does at the end of bunny. Okay, so these were our keywords from our last video. Okay, and again, this is when Y becomes a vowel, when it's at the end of the word and it says E or I, like it does in bunny and sky, those two long vowel sounds. Okay, and it follows that open vowel, open syllable rule for a long vowel sound. Okay, that Y is making that long vowel sound on its own at the end. So it follows that open vowel, open syllable rule for a long vowel sound. Okay, so that's its pattern. Okay, let's take a look here. And here is our keyword sky, where the Y says I at the end. And just like in sky, Y usually says I at the end of a little word, where it's the only vowel sound in the word. You don't have another vowel with it. So if we know that sound and pattern in the keyword, we can read other words with the same sound and pattern. We remember and know it. So the Y is also going to be I at the end of these little words. Okay? Alrighty, so let's read it. And again, I'm going to make the sounds and blend and sound out. Most of you can probably read these right away, and that's fine too, but we're going to keep with that same structure. So let's go. Chirp, I try. Full, I fly. Cur, I cry. I why. Okay? So quick summary. There's Y at the end saying I. Okay? When it's the only vowel sound in the word. You don't have another vowel with it. Okay? All right? And this is one time Y becomes a vowel when it's at the end saying I, long I. All righty? Let's go right into the next one. And here we have our keyword bunny, where Y says E at the end, okay, like it does in the word bunny. And usually, like in the word bunny, the Y says E at the end of a longer word where there's another vowel sound, another syllable to consider. Okay? Alrighty, so again, here's our keyword. Here are some other words with that same sound and pattern, the Y saying E at the end of these longer words. Now, to make these longer words easier to read, we're going to divide them into parts or syllables. And then we're going to read those syllables just like little words using those same rules about vowels. And then we're going to put those syllables back together again for that bigger word. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Here's our first syllable. We see O at the end, so it's going to be open, long on its own. So let's read it with long O, po, po. Here's our second syllable where we have Y at the end. So again, another open syllable. The Y makes that long vowel sound on its own at the end. It's going to be long E in this. So n, E, ni. And if we put it together, there's po, ni, pony. Okay? go right to the next one. Here's our first syllable. Okay. Oops. Hopefully you can see all that. All right. There's our A at the end. So it's going to be open long on its own. Let's read it with long A. O, A, lay. Let's switch and do the last syllable. Make sure you can see all of this. Okay, that's good. Okay, and here's another open syllable with Y on its own at the end, making that long vowel sound, long E in this word. So let's read it with long E, Z, E, Z. So here's lay, Z, lazy. Okay, now if we watch here and we make a bridge, if you look here, you can see how we have one consonant on the bridge between our first vowel and Y. And when we have one consonant in between our vowel sounds, usually that first vowel is long on its own. Okay? Now that O and that A may be in the middle of the bigger word, but it's at the end of a syllable. Okay, so it's the same rule. Okay, just like a little word inside that bigger word, it can open, say its name on its own. So this is how we can get a long vowel on its own in the middle of a bigger word. Okay, let's keep it going. Okay, here is the first syllable of the next word. And you can see how that vowel U is closed up by itself. Okay, so it's going to be quick and short. So let's read it with short U. Cross. Here's our second syllable. And again, we have an open syllable with Y at the end, making that long vowel sound on its own. It's going to be long E in this. So let's read it. E, T. So if we put it together, we have crust, then T. Together, it is crusty, like the crusty pizza. Okay? Alrighty. And you can see how we've marked the vowel sounds in those syllables so we remember how to read them. Okay? Now, if we make a bridge here, you can see on the bridge we have two consonants in between our first vowel and Y. And when we have two consonants in between our vowel sounds, usually that first vowel is short on its own. Okay? If we look here at just that first syllable, we can see the U closed up by itself. So it's the same rule, just like a little word inside that bigger word, that vowel is going to make it short sound. Okay, so that's how we can get a short vowel on its own as part of a bigger word. Okay, but like we talked about, this is what it comes down to. You may have to try those different vowel sounds, long and short, to get the right word. We would not say pony, so this has to be pony. We would not say lazy, so this has to be lazy. We wouldn't say crusty, so this has to be crusty. So again, try those different vowel sounds like long, short to get the right word. Okay, and you know Y at the end can be E or I, so this is not lazy, this is lazy. So the Y has to be E at the end to make a real word. Okay, again, when vowels make those different sounds, try those different sounds as you need to get the right word. Now, you do the last one. You can put me on pause and you can read the last word and you can make, or you can just read it in your own head. Again, decide if the U is going to be long or short on its own, and you know what sound the Y is going to be at the end of these bigger words. So read it on your own, then check back with me. Okay, and if you said this word is funny, you are correct. We have a short U and then Y saying E at the end. Okay, so quick summary of what we did here. Y, again, can say E at the end of a word, usually at the end of a longer word with another vowel sound, another syllable with it. Okay, and again, this is another time Y is at the vowel, or this is another time that Y becomes a vowel, saying E, long E at the end, like it does in bunny, and the other words we read here. Okay, this is what I would like you to do next. I would like you, if you need to, put your computer on or pause the video and grab some scrap paper and a pencil, and we're going to make a 3-dotted line. And again, now we're going to spell some words with our new sound and pattern. And again, we're going to use this 3-dotted line to help us. Okay? Alrighty. And as we spell, we say the word slowly enough to hear the sounds, then go back and write down the letters for them beginning to end. So tapping out the sounds on our dotted line can help us sound out to spell. Okay, now, if you've got that 3-dotted line, put the word sky, that keyword with the Y saying I at the end. And then I want you to put 1, 2 more lines, just like that. You can make your own little paper. Okay? And now we're going to spell some words just like sky, where the Y says I at the end. Okay, so when you hear that I at the end, long I, you know it's going to be the Y, like sky. Let's get started. Okay, our first word is spy. Pound it, spy. Beat it up, spy. Pointer up, say it slowly, sound it out. I spy. Now put me on pause and you write down those letters you hear and spell the words. So we have sp, that's a blend. We need 2 letters, and then I, and you know which letter is going to be I at the end. So spy. Okay, you spell it how you think, and then click me back on and we'll check. Okay, and if we put S, or if you put SPY, you are correct. Spy. Let's do our last one, which is dry. Pound it, dry. I, dry. Okay? What do we hear first? That's a blend, 2 letters, and then I. How are we going to spell that I at the end? So it's dry. Okay? Put me on pause. You spell it. And then click me back on so we can check. Okay, if you put DRY, you are correct. Okay, that is I, dry. Okay, now let's read these 2 words. If we can write it, we can read it. Just blend the sounds and read it again. Okay, so this is spy, this is dry. Read them with me. Spy, dry. Spy, dry. And you can see why says I, long I, at the end of these little words. It's the only vowel sound in the word. Okay? Alrighty. Now, I'm going to close this video for now because we don't have enough time to do the next one. But we will start in our next video right where we left off here. Okay? And remember what we're practicing. Y at the end being a vowel, like when it says E or I, like at the end of sky and at the end of bunny. That's when Y is a vowel, when it says E or I at the end. Those 2 long vowel sounds. See you in the next video.